Well, let's talk about the NPP's own party political activities. And we know that it's not come to a head. The party is going to have regional election. They started with the various local level elections. But one person who is on top of it all to help us do the great discussions and give you an insight into what will be happening from tomorrow is the Director of Elections and Research for the New Patriotic Party. Evans Demako is my guest. Thanks for joining me, Evans.
Okay.
First time hosting you, and I'm privileged, sir. You give us just a recap. You started with some local level elections before we came to this point. So just bring us up to speed.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to greet your viewers across the world. I'm happy to be here. Well, as you are aware, the New Patriotic Party is doing it again. We started with our polling station elections. I mean, we have over 29,000 polling stations across the country, and we've been able to do almost all of them. Then after the polling stations, we did the electoral area coordinators, and this is a body that's in between the polling station and the constituency executive. And we've done over 6,000 electoral area coordinators elections, and that has given us the opportunity also to do the constituency officers election, and this is done at the constituency annual delegate conference, and we have 275 constituencies across the country. We've done almost 270 so far, and we are now at the stage where we're doing the regional annual delegate conference. That is in the party's arrangement what we have, and part of the regional conference responsibility is to elect new officers for the region to steer the affairs of the party.
Okay. So basically you're electing regional executives?
Yes.
Okay. And that will be at a sitting?
Yes.
What's the modality?
The modality is that we came out, National Executive Committee sanctioned rules and regulations for the conduct of these elections. So that in that agreement and arrangement, each region was appointed a regional elections committee. And if you take Ashanti region, we had Mr. F.F. Anto, who is the first vice chairperson of the party. You take Noahafo region, we have Mr. Edujan, who is the former regional chairman of the party. Central region, we have Honorable Kwejasumeni as the chair of the committee. You take Eastern region, we have Mr. Bankwe, our national treasurer, assisted by Honorable Hakma also Ajiman, and Willie P, Mr. Ampem Dakon. You have Northern region, we have lawyer Shaibu Mahama. Greater Accra, our own Honorable Edumante as chair, Aro Solomon as one of the members. We have Upper East, we have Nuhu Mahama, our national deputy organizer. You have Upper West, Kamal Dean, our national Nasara coordinator, and then Volta region, Charles Abonto, who is the deputy general secretary. The Western region, we have our acting national women organizer, Hajia Saudatu. So these are people who are chairing the regional elections committee across the country. Now, I am here at the center working with the general secretary, facilitating the operations of this regional elections committee.
Now, at the end of the day, it means that it's a whole lot of activity.
Yes.
Trying to put together logistics,
funding,
etc. And even after you've gotten all this, you have to move people around. A lot of so that's your role. That's what you do.
That's what I do as part of a team. That is ensuring that we have a very successful conference run for the regions. And when we are done with the regional conference, we're going to do the national annual delegate conference. And for this regional conference, we have delegates who have the constitutional right to participate. We have the regional election executive committee, who are the existing regional executives as members to the conference. We have the members of parliament in the region. So Volta region, where we have one candidate, one MP, is a delegate to the conference. Ashanti region, we have 44 of them. They are all delegates to the conference. We also have constituency executive committee in the region. So when you're taking of Ashanti region, you have 47 constituencies. All executives of the party in the constituency are going to participate. In Ashanti region, under the arrangement, the Fomena constituency will not be able to participate because of court-related issues. We're ensuring that we get it settled out of court.
Some individuals have
taking us to. There's some misunderstanding. We're hoping that we'll be able to resolve it. Once we're able to.
But if you're not able to, you still have to shift the date sometime.
No, it means that they are not participating for tomorrow's conference.
And you made us know that it's going to be at various polling stations?
At various centers in the region,
centers.
yes.
So let's say in Ashanti where they have 47, you said?
They have 47, and it's being done in Edra.
Okay, will be in one center?
Yeah, one center.
So one hall?
One big hall. But as I said, Fomena will not participate because of the issue. So all in all, we're having a successful arrangement. The police have been put on notice. They are shown their preparedness to be there. The election will be conducted by the EC. We hope that conference will support the arrangement of the conference, and then when we are done, it's the party that will emerge victorious. So far, after vetting, we've monitored all the aspirants, and I can show you that we are comfortable with the kind of campaign they've engaged. And the delegates are also listening to them, and I hope that on D-Day, it is the will of the people that will prevail, and the party will be the winner.
And usually we know the lobbying, etc., that usually goes on. So what were the ground rules before now? When, let's say, for example, did they need to put up posters, or did they need to at all, not at all? When did they need to officially undertake campaigns before now? Because I'm asking this because I've been seeing a lot of posters and things around, so just asking in the meantime.
Well, it's election, so aspirants will definitely campaign, and it takes so many forms. I mean, now people are employing the social media platforms, so you see WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Facebook, and stuff going on. People are also going outward with huge posters and stuff. The party did not stop any of them in this direction. What we expected aspirants to do was that they should engage in a very civil campaign to ensure that the family unity of the party will remain intact even post-elections. And we've seen that across. So they were allowed. But this is delegate elections, the delegate coming from constituencies. So I would rather expect that aspirants will move to constituencies, interact with the constituency executives, move to the MPs, interact with them, and that stuff, than too much of posters around. But I mean, it tells the commitment, the enthusiasm that is emanating from this, and I'm happy. It is also energizing the base of the party. And so far.
So there's a delegates register?
Yes, there is.
How many in number?
It varies from the various regions. In all, I mean, across the country, we are having over 5,000 people, because if you take, for instance, in Ashanti region, where you have 46 constituencies participating with 17 constituency executives, you're talking of 782 delegates. You have 10 elders, 10 patrons, 44 MPs, 9 council of elders, National Council Rep, 27 TESCOM, and then 7 foundation members. So, you know, in Ashanti region, we're talking a range of 900 delegates. Okay. It cut across. BA has 574. Central region has 469. Eastern region has 657. Northern region has 663. Upper East has 605. Upper East, Upper West has 310. Volta has 506.
Wow.
And then Western region has 524. So it's a whole number of party delegates congregating to do regional conference. The regional conference, what happens is that we assess the performance of the party over the years. So we expect the region to have the report of the regional treasurer tabled and adopted by conference. We expect a report from the general secretary to be adopted, and then it is handed over by the national rep to the EC to conduct the elections. So that's what happens at conference.
And I know that prior to now, you had gone to, is it Cape Coast you went initially and tried to put together some amendments?
We went to Cape Coast first, and then later we moved to Ashanti region, Kumasi, where those proposed sponsored amendments were adopted by
if you're familiar with some of them, can you just run us through some of the amendments and how they were from Cape Coast, how they were accepted at the conference in Kumasi?
Well, when the opportunity was given to party members to sponsor amendment to the previous constitution, a lot of issues came up. One issue has to do with making Nasara a wing. It used to be one of the organizing arrangement in groupings. Okay. But now, at the conference in Kumasi, it was adopted to be a wing. So it is operating like the National Youth Wing, the National Women's Wing, and then so previously that we didn't have Nasara as a wing. And when you are given a status as a wing, you have the structure from national, regional, constituency.
So previously, you were just existing at the national level.
At the national level.
And you have to do your own organization as an officer.
And now it's been made to be an elective position. It used to be an appointed one. After the elected officers have been elected, then they were appointed. But now it's been made an elective position with deputies. So we're ensuring that there's a balance of these constituency in the leadership of the party. So that's one bit about it. The other bit has to do with ensuring that the party unity is well knitted. Our external branch didn't have representation in National Executive Committee.
And if you say external branches, you're talking about those abroad?
Those abroad. I mean, Nigeria is one of them, USA is one, Holland,
UK,
Italy, UK,
Germany.
So these are a party organization outside of the borders of Ghana. These are our external branches. They didn't have representation in National Executive Committee.
As in one representation. One elected officer.
Yes. But now these external branches have been given representation in National Executive Committee and National Council. So that's also one bit. There were other proposals that were not adopted by the conference, so I wouldn't want us to go into that now. And at this stage, I want us to focus our attention on this election so that the delegates will remain in tune with what is expected of them.
Okay, so now let's come to the bearings of what needs to be done. So at the regional level, now that you have the elections and you've added, let's say, wings like Nasara, etc., it means that officers will be elected at that level?
Yes, at this moment we are electing, it used to be 9, but now it's going to be 10. We have the regional chair, we have the regional first vice, regional second vice, regional treasurer, regional secretary and assistant secretary. We have the youth organizer, women organizer, and then the Nasara coordinator as the elective positions for the conference. When they are done with it, and then the regional organizer, when they are done, there are other appointed positions. There's a deputy organizer, deputy youth organizer, deputy women organizer, and then the deputy Nasara coordinator. We also have a regional officer responsible for research and elections, communication, and then financial secretary.
They are all...
These 7 positions are elected. Appointed.
Yeah, appointed.
So when
who appoints them?
In our constitution, it states that 14 days after the election of the elected officers, the elected officers in consultation with the National Executive Committee will do the appointment of these 7 people.
How do the names or the preferences for the individuals who are expected to be nominated subsequently and appointed come up? How do you...
What is expected of the elected officers
at the regional level? At
the regional level, in consultation with national, is to ensure that there's a balance of gender, of expertise, skill sets, and also ensure that you are able to properly manage the party. If you know the position, for instance, somebody in charge of research and elections, somebody in charge of communication, somebody in charge of finances should be people who have the skills, the knowledge to occupy those positions. We didn't want it to go into elections because elections, if you are not careful, will not produce the right set of people to occupy that position. We expect that this is a bit of technical area and you need people who wouldn't want to go through
So
elections.
ideally you have national officers elected and you have almost like the civil service.
Some of that sort, to ensure that there's a balance.
The technocrats.
The technocrats,
okay,
to support.
People who have the know-how.
Yes, to support
or have seemed to have gone through the mill.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you throughout this period, you needed to touch base with the grassroots and make sure that there was some level of sensitization. You did that?
Yeah, that has been
as a national body.
At all times when the National Executive Committee or the National Steering Committee has agreed on a certain position, the General Secretary will come out with a press release, press conference, to let it known to the general public and the party.
Even at the regional level too,
yes,
that was done?
That was done. The General Secretary held a press conference at the party headquarters. So then when we are done, there's a meeting of the regional executives at all levels to let them go through the rules and regulations for the conduct of the elections. So at all times, these engagements, it's intra-party discussions. So they are done. There are platforms where chairmen of the regions, chairmen of the elections committees are engaged to ensure that there's a clear understanding of the rules and regulations and how they are to conduct themselves all through the process.
All right. So can you take us, are you familiar with some of the people, prominent ones who are contesting? You want to remain neutral?
Oh, I mean, well, the father I mentioned their name, that it won't give them too much of an edge over there, I think so. I think that in Ashanti region, I'm aware that Chairman and Chibusi A.K. Wuntumi is possibly going unopposed. Sampine is also contesting as regional secretary. One Patrick Champon, who used to be the regional research and elections officer, is also seeking elections as the second vice in the region. You go to Brunahafo region, the acting chairman, Toma, is being keenly contested to by one Jerry, and we are expecting a showdown in Brunahafo. I'm aware that one gentleman called Abronye is also, who is the regional youth organizer, is now contesting first vice in Brunahafo region. When you come to Central region, Chairman Kutin is in the race again. You have... Is
he going unopposed or...?
No, he's been contested. He's been contested. You know, that is New Patriotic Party. Even Nanado was contested at all levels, if your mind can
sure.
Yeah, so we are open to the contest. The regional acting secretary, Techimensa, is also seeking re-elections. In Eastern region, Mr. Kisi is also seeking re-election. I'm told he is going unopposed. The regional secretary, Prince Abuaji, is not contesting this time. And so the regional youth organizer is contesting unopposed. Our own Budinga is also contesting this time again as the first regional vice chairperson. Then in northern region, Chairman Bugi Nabu is also contesting. The regional secretary Sule Salifu.
Bugi Nabu is being contested?
No, he's being contested.
By who?
I think there are a lot of names coming up. I'm aware that the regional organizer Alhaji Hindu is contesting. There's another gentleman, they call him Dagumba Boy.
They are all contesting for the position of
chairman, regional chairman. There's also another one man called Samba, who is also contesting. So that's for northern region. You come to upper east, the regional chairman Mutala is contesting. There's one gentleman, Filson, is also contesting. So that's about upper east. Upper west, Elijah Short is not contesting again. He has shown interest in contesting national chairmanship position. The first vice, who is also the secretary to the region, Hafiz bin Sali, is also contesting as the regional chairman. You take Volta region, we have Avulate We have one Kenanku also contesting, and then
Kenanku is contesting as what?
Regional chairman.
The lawyer?
Yeah. And then in Western region, Chairman Candice is not contesting, but we have Indedisia, who is the first vice, contesting. We have a former Nanu Usankuma contesting, and a few others, Ben Ama and others, for the chairmanship position. We also have the secretary, BCU Unyawotu, and then one OKT also contest. And these are known party people who have been with us in the trenches and second elections to lead the party. And I wish them the best.
So prior to now, how many days did they need to file? And then were there periods when they had to campaign, stop campaigning, or what is the rule on the day of the election? There's no campaign like the national elections. What are some of the basic rules covering the election? Well, I mean, the campaign and then
we opened the nomination about a month ago, and then there was the vetting. We said that by 31st of last month, they should produce the report, the vetting report, to allow the aspirants who are successful to begin their campaign. So that was done, and the aspirants have had enough time to campaign among the constituency executives and the other constituency that is coming to vote. It's an internal party arrangement, so even before the nomination was opened, they have started campaigning, and I'm happy that none of them have raised issue about the timing. There was an open vetting. I was part of Western region and Northern region. Aspirants were happy about the conduct of it. Nobody raised issue, and you know that the transparent manner with which this process has been undertaken has shown the level of commitment and acceptance. So across, the aspirants have been okay with it, and we expect them to put up the same showing on D-Day, and I know that the party will accept the outcome, and the party will be the winner.
So we have rules governing the elections during the day. Yeah. What are they?
Well, we're saying that when it is the elections, the EC that is going to conduct the elections.
That's the Electoral Commission
of Ghana.
That's
the Electoral Commission of Ghana.
Okay.
The delegates will be voting from their constituency. So the EC, using our album, will call delegate based on what names there is in the register. Candidates, when it is time for the elections, are not supposed to be campaigning to disturb the process.
Openly, you say?
Yes, because
during the process of voting?
Yes, it's not that point that you'll be waging campaign for your acceptance.
So voting is banned within
Voting is banned within the premise. But that's when voting starts. Because for you know, we've provided transportation, but I can bet you some aspirants will also arrange for transport for some of the delegates. And at that point, we can stop it. All that we want to make sure is that delegates who are supposed to be members of conference arrived at the venue, and when it is time for them to cast their vote, they go through without any difficulties.
All right. So usually they say that the candidate needs to have access to the albums of the delegates, etc. Has that been done?
Yeah, that has been done. And as I said,
how many weeks prior to the election?
Oh, we've started doing this. Well, what we told, you know, when they did the constituency elections about a month ago, okay, and we gave a form out for elected officers to fill, and that form, copy was to be kept at the constituency, copy at the regional office, and copy at national. But in order to ensure consistency, the national copy that is being forwarded to the regional EC to conduct the election. So the aspirants also know the delegates who are coming for this conference. And once I've not had any issue raised about it, we are set that aspirants are comfortable with the arrangement. They know the delegates they are dealing with.
Well, that'll be great. So on the day of election, voting starts when and ends when is election or when will the ballots be counted and the results declared and somebody declared a winner, etc.?
We expect that voting will start by 10:30 a.m. and within 4 hours it should be over. We expect that by 5 p.m. winners will be declared across the country to assume leadership of the party in the regions. They are starting with adoption of reports from the treasurer and that of the regional secretary, and that will take the first part of the day, as about an hour for that to be done.
Oh, so it's like a whole meeting culminating to an election?
A whole meeting culminating to an election, because it's conference.
So
and conference is not going to go straight into elections.
Okay.
No, it's
not
going
an
to
electoral
be
conference.
an assessment of the party over the year. And then when that is done, the report of the regional treasurer and that of the regional secretary will be adopted by conference. When that phase has ended, then the regional national officer responsible will hand the conference over to the EC for the conference to assume electoral body delegate to cast vote for the new.
Is that what you do at the national level?
That's what we do when we are having
the national too.
National.
Okay, so how many hours have you allotted for all that before the main election starts? Because, for example, you're telling us in Ashanti and even in Greater Accra, let's say even in the Eastern region, the numbers are great, big.
But I was in Elembele last Wednesday. The number of polling station officers that gathered were over 800. They were able to cast their vote within 3 hours. So when you have a range below 1,000, and these are constituency officers already.
So let's say in Ashanti, the candidates there will be how many?
We have about in Ashanti region.
The delegates, I mean.
The delegates have 906 delegates. Okay. It's not going to take more than 4 hours for that election process to
And you
end.
Immediately declare the results. Right?
Yeah, right away results will be declared. And
so
then
it's not strictly like the national elections where you have close at 5 p.m. before the declaration.
No. Normally is the parliamentary primaries that we give time, but once you are done with the process, you don't have to wait. You go ahead to declare the results, and the winners who emerge will be sworn into office by the national officer to ensure that
you've sent the electoral materials already out.
Right away, they have them.
Are they usually printed in region, or
they printed them in the regions? Because after the vetting, those who were successful, their particulars were submitted to the EC, who did the printing on behalf of the party. All this to ensure neutrality of the election-making body, and then also the openness and the transparency of it. So we've engaged the EC throughout the process.
All right, and before we go, we just have to ask the candidates in touching base with the various delegates. Did they consult you? How do you have any ground rules for them to go and do the engagements prior to the voting tomorrow?
No, we didn't provide any.
You just left it free fall.
Yeah, free fall.
Free fall.
Because
you to go and
you meet the constituency. I'm aware that aspirants moved into constituencies and then met with the constituency executives who are delegates and to preach their messages to them. For instance, even we are not at the national level, but you are aware some of the prospective aspirants have started touring the country. Even the acting general secretary is in northern region. He started with upper west, he moved to upper east, and now in northern region, when we are not even doing the national conference. So it's expected. People start talking to party people. They are known delegates, known constituency, from known constituency. So it's not like you're doing full-blown national delegate voters election. It's specific people you are dealing with. 17 people in the constituency, few elders, few patrons, TESCON reps.
Are easily manageable.
Easily manageable, I think so.
Well, thank you very much. I've enjoyed all the great conversation I've had with you. We hope that we can have you maybe before the national election to have some
I'll make myself available.
Yes, please. And we're
thank
grateful.
You so much.
And Evans Nimakom, Very eloquent, giving us, knows his stuff. He straps his horse very well, so knows his stuff. And Evans Nimakon is the director of research and elections, the New Patriotic Party, and we know that they are convening regional elections across the country tomorrow. And please, those conference, it's a whole package, so it's a conference and the elections subsequently. And we know that already people have lobbied to have their own people contest, etc., to make sure that they have the right people among the delegates during the national election. Usually that's what happens. You make sure you do the lobbying adequately and get your right people in the right places. Well, thank you, Evans.
You're welcome.
All right, it's a pleasure speaking to you.